This may be one of the most dangerous money stories that nobody is explaining the right way, and you need to hear it. Listen, people hear Iran, Israel, Qatar, oil, and they think it's just another war headline that doesn't touch them. Wrong. Energy infrastructure. Now let's put it up on screen here. South Pars is very important because the world's largest natural gas field was struck. Iran then threatened Gulf energy sites. Qatar reported extensive damage at Ras Laffan after an Iranian missile hit. Now Saudi Arabia intercepted missiles towards Riyadh. And of course, oil ripped higher past $110 a barrel at one point. This is not background noise. This is the kind of move that can bleed into inflation, higher household costs, and more people leaning on debt. So in this video, we're breaking down what Trump said, what actually happened with Iran, why this is escalating so fast, and how a war story in the Gulf can quietly destroy people's credit in America. And trust me, the part most people are missing is the part that's going to cost them the most. So what's up, everybody? If this is your first time here, I'm Mike the Credit Guy. And today we're not doing lazy mainstream, the gas prices might go up talk. We're going all the way into this because if you understand money, then you understand this isn't just another foreign policy story. This is a consumer pressure story. This is a credit utilization story. This is a missed payment story. This is a people swiping for survival story. And before we go deeper, make sure to smash that like and subscribe button because this channel is for people who want the truth about money, credit, and debt and the economy before it punches them in the face. Now let's get into exactly what just happened. The confirmed part is this. Reuters and AP reported that Israel struck Iran's South Pars gas field, which is part of the world's largest natural gas reserve and is shared with Qatar. Reuters also reported attacks on Iranian energy facilities in South Pars and Asalia, followed by Tehran warning that energy infrastructure in Saudi Arabia and the UAE and Qatar could be targeted in coming hours. Then the retaliation spread because Reuters reported that Iran attacked energy facilities across the Middle East after the South Pars strike. And Qatar Energy said Iranian missile attacks on Ras Laffan caused extensive damage to Qatar's core LNG hub. And Saudi Arabia said it intercepted 4 ballistic missiles launched towards Riyadh and stopped a drone attack on a gas facility. Now here's where Trump enters the story. AP and Reuters both reported that Trump said the United States and Qatar knew nothing about the Israel strike on South Pars. He also posted that Israel would make no more attacks on that field unless Iran attacks Qatar again, and warned that if Iran does, the US would massively blow up the entirety of South Pars. So let's stop right there. That is not a normal statement, because that is basically saying we are already in a war around energy, and if this escalates one more step, we are talking about attacking one of the most important gas assets on Earth. That is why markets reacted, because once energy infrastructure becomes the battlefield, every trader, every shipper, every insurer, every airline, every trucking company, and every family with bills starts getting dragged into it. South Pars matters because it's not just some random site in the desert. Reuters says South Pars makes up around a third of the world's largest natural gas reservoir. And Iran shares that reservoir with Qatar, which calls its side the North Dome. Now, Reuters also reported that Qatar has fully shut LNG production because of the war, threatening to keep about a fifth of global LNG supply offline if damage extends the outage. Translation? That means this isn't just about oil went up. This is about gas, LNG, shipping routes, export routes, refineries, petrochemical sites, and the very systems global energy markets rely on. And one thing I need to be very careful about here is there are viral posts online claiming things like 30% of the world's LNG disappears overnight, or that every single Gulf site is about to get hit immediately. Now understand, I could verify the broader escalation and the evacuation warnings, but I could not verify every dramatic social media claim word for word from Reuters or AP. Because what is verified is already serious enough. Tehran issued evacuation warnings for specific Gulf energy sites. Ras Laffan suffered extensive damage, and analysts are warning the conflict could drag on and keep supply under pressure. So you don't even need the unverified stuff, because the verified stuff is already a financial nightmare. Now let's talk about the part that can make this go from ugly to brutal. the Strait of Hormuz. Reuters reported this war has effectively closed the Strait of Hormuz, and analysts are watching threats not only to the Gulf facilities, but also to alternate export routes like Saudi Arabia's Red Sea port of Yanbu. Now, AP has also described the strait as vital to global energy flows, as this conflict has roiled oil and gas shipping routes. But why does this matter? Because when people hear war, they think bombs. Markets hear war, and they think supply disruption. And that's exactly why Reuters reported Brent crude jumped above 112 intraday after Iran struck regional energy facilities, with analysts warning of prolonged disruption and no near-term reopening of Hormuz. But here's the big but. Iran said the straits are open for everyone except for America and its allies. Now let's go back to Trump's statement, because this is a part that a lot of people are going to clip without understanding the weight of it. Reuters and AP reported that Trump's message said Iran hit South Pars, that US and Qatar were not involved, that Israel would stop attacking that field unless Iran attacks Qatar again. And if Iran does, the US would respond by massively striking the entirety of South Pars. Reuters also noted that other reporting, including from the Wall Street Journal and Axios, said Trump had prior knowledge of Israel's plans, which contradicts his public claim that the US knew nothing. Now, why is this such a big deal? Because once the President of the United States is publicly talking about destroying the entirety of the world's largest gas field if Iran hits Qatar again, he's not just talking to Iran, he's talking to markets, he's talking to insurers, he's talking to shipping companies, he's talking to investors, and he's telling all of them one thing: this can escalate further. Not maybe, not theory, further. And that raises the risk premium on energy immediately. And that premium gets passed down the chain until it hits regular people at the pump, at the grocery store, and at the credit card statement. Now let's bring this all the way back home, because this is the Mike the Credit Guy part. When energy prices jump, everything starts leaning the wrong way. Gas prices go up, shipping costs go up, airline costs go up, delivery costs go up, food costs go up. And once food and fuel go up together, families start making ugly decisions. Reuters reported oil prices surged after these attacks, while the Federal Reserve held rates steady and projected higher inflation as policymakers assessed the impact of the war. That combination matters because higher inflation with already tight financial conditions is exactly how consumers get squeezed. And when consumers get squeezed, what do? They don't magically become richer. They swipe. They put gas on credit. They float groceries on credit. They carry higher balances. They miss due dates because one surprise bill turns into 3. And once that happens, credit scores start falling for reasons that seem small in the moment but become huge over 60 to 90 days. This is why I keep telling y'all, credit problems usually begin as cash flow problems. And this kind of energy shock is a cash flow problem generator. But let's make this painfully simple. Say gas jumps hard in your area. Now your commute costs more. Your groceries cost more because trucking costs more. Your electric bill doesn't go down. Your rent doesn't go down. Your car note definitely doesn't go down. So what happens? Credit card that used to carry a small balance now starts carrying the monthly gap between what life costs and what you make. Then utilization climbs. Then scores drop. Then your minimum payment rises because the balance is larger. Then one late payment hits because you were trying to juggle everything. That's how gas prices quietly destroy people's credit. Not because gas itself is reported to the credit bureaus, but because it's one of the triggers that forces broke math into a household budget. And once your budget breaks, your credit gets dragged behind it. That's why this topic matters so much to this audience. This is not just oil, this is a debt setup. I want to give a special shout out to all my beasters out there that are working hard to fix their credit using DisputeBeast, the most advanced AI credit repair software ever created that comes with a 110% money back guarantee. But specifically to Luis. Luis's credit score went up 261 points after just one round with DisputeBeast. And Jency's credit score went up 225 points after just one round with DisputeBeast. But let's not forget James. James's credit score went up 207 points after just one round with DisputeBeast. DisputeBeast's link is going to be in the video description and pinned at the top of the comments for anyone that needs to fix their credit. And let's get even more real. A lot of people are already driving payments that only made sense when life was cheaper. $600 notes, $700 insurance, premium gas, zero emergency fund. Then a story like this hits and energy costs surge. Now your monthly car cost becomes insane. That's when people start paying one bill late to keep another bill current. That's when collections start. That's when utilization spikes. And that's when repos start showing up in a bad economy. And if this conflict keeps pushing energy costs higher, you're going to hear the recession word even more. Reuters already quoted analysts warning about prolonged disruption, while markets and central banks are treating the conflict as a real inflation and growth risk, which means the worst combo is back on the table. Higher costs plus shaky growth plus pressured consumers. That's a nasty, nasty setup. So the big question is, what do you do with all of this? Number one, stop acting like this is just news. If your budget is already tight, this is your warning shot. Number two, lower utilization now before higher living costs force it up later. Number three, build a cash buffer even if it's small. Number four, stop financing ego. If you're already stretched, this is not the season for flexing. And number five, track every dollar for the next 60 days, because if energy keeps rising, the people who know their numbers will react first and survive best. Last part's the most important. And the last thing I'll say is this. Now, of course, online, you're gonna see a lot of screaming, a lot of giant claims, a lot of the whole Gulf is over tomorrow. Some of that noise is exaggerated, of course, but the verified story is already serious enough. South Pars was struck, Iran threatened Gulf energy facilities, Qatar's Ras Laffan suffered extensive damage, and Saudi Arabia intercepted missiles towards Riyadh. Oil surged above 110 intraday, almost 120 by the time you watch this video. And of course, Trump did what Trump does. He publicly threatened a much larger strike on South Pars if Iran attacks Qatar again. You don't need to exaggerate that. That by itself is a massive money story that a lot of people don't want to talk about. So I want you to comment down below in the comments. Do you think gas prices are about to smack Americans way harder than people realize? And the second question, if gas hits $5 or more where you live, what gets cut from your budget first? And if you have any collections, charge-offs, or negative items that you need to delete from your credit reports, make sure to watch this video right here, because this is going to show you how AI will do all the work for you, mail your letters, and it comes with a 110% money back guarantee. And if you felt that I brought you some value in this video, make sure that you don't forget and subscribe to increase your credit score.